I was reading a story to my son, and I read like a chapter at a time, and it's this dragon book. And at the end of this chapter, there was a candy cane dragon that's getting ready to fight these three ladies. And the chapter ends, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder how he's going to fight this dragon. I'm like, maybe he'll kill the dragon with its own candy canes. And Wesley goes, oh, he would be a candy cane killer then. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Seeping in.
Oh, God.
I can't think of a better way to start off an episode where people are just referencing things we have said, maybe. Welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. Today, we are going to cover from 1988, Hell Comes to Frogtown. And as always, I'm your host, Paul. Next to me is Mike.
Hey.
Lamar's here.
Yes, I am.
There's Jeremy.
Hola.
And Collin.
Hey.
And Hell Comes to Frogtown. Maybe I should just jump right into the summary. After a worldwide nuclear war where 68% of the male population was wiped out and virile men become a rarity, Sam Hell, a scavenger and a highly virile man, is assigned to help rescue a group of fertile women kidnapped by humanoid frogs. I don't know why you wouldn't want to get into that film, which is kind of funny. I have a little backstory about this. So we've noted that a lot of us play music in the room. This includes Collin as well. And Collin and Mike and I have all had a mutual friend who drummed for us and still drums for Collin. Stefan. Hey, Stefan, if you're listening to this, shout out to Stefan. Well, many, many years ago, after a band practice between Mike, Stefan, and I, we watched this movie, and I said, we should maybe do a podcast one day about films. And here we are now, almost 100 episodes into Rabbit Troop Sucks, and years after that, back to Hell Comes to Frogtown, 1980.
This is the movie where you're like, oh, we got to break this one down, guys. We need to set something up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And breakdown we will. I mean, this movie stars Roddy Piper. Unfortunately, there's a lot of rest in peace notes I have here. This includes Roddy Piper. Super unfortunately, he passed away in 2015. They Live is a movie I found out today that Collin has not seen, and that is now just clearly on the list.
Way better than this movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I told Collin. I mean, before we even started this, I was like, They Live is like a very, very notable B film. Like, it is like king of the B films. Yeah, like you're gonna have a ton of fun. I can't imagine Collin would not like They Live.
No.
I think you'll find a lot of real life references coming from that movie too. It's really memeable.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, there's a catchphrase from that movie that is repeated in a lot of other popular media.
That's true. And this movie has two directors. One of them being Donald G. Jackson.
It took the collaborative efforts of two people.
And like R.J. Kaiser. But Donald G. Jackson, there's a fella. So during the pandemic, we were watching a movie online. Me, Lamar, Mike, some friends. And we stumbled upon a little movie called Roller Gator, which is directed by Donald G. Jackson. And is it a film that we're going to do on this podcast? Hell no.
Never.
But it's a movie that is going to be, I want to say, a mix of memorable and scarring. So we were telling Collin about this. So Jeremy, yes, there is a roller gator. He's skateboarding around. Okay, let's get beyond all this. Here's why the movie's memorable. It is, I don't know, I don't even think it's a full hour and a half. Let's say it's an hour and 20-minute movie. The entire movie has an acoustic guitar soundtrack, start to finish. There is absolutely no break. It is someone playing an acoustic guitar for an hour and 10 minutes. It is...
They just never stop.
No, they don't. They never stop.
They never
One
stop.
take.
It is insane. It's very noticeable, and as we were talking about, it's also mixed in sometimes where it's overstepping beyond the dialogue of the characters. So yeah, and that's done later. That was done in '91. Lamar roller gator. So
I think this director paid for all these frog costumes and was like, from now on, every movie has to have.
Well, yeah.
I have to use these costumes.
To be fair, those costumes were pretty awesome. I would reuse them over and over again, too.
Well, if you look at this dude's filmography, literally all of his movies involve a reptile of some capacity.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he is also no longer alive.
Oh.
And these two directors took a whopping 19 days to film this entire movie.
I'm surprised it took that long.
Well, you've got to take the weekend off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you got to go check in at a hotel.
You got to spray down the costumes, get the frog coloring right.
You've got to go. You get a drug den, which I assume that's how the staff and actors were paid.
That's how you get people on a film like this.
You have to learn the three
den.
snakes dance.
Yeah. We get some other people in this movie that I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean,
Really? Captain Devlin, I'm sorry, who's also Count Sodom. He also passed away 2021, but at the age of 88. He is in Red Dawn, so hey, Wolverines.
Count Sodom.
Yeah. So if you're not surprised yet, this is a Fallout film. We got Fallout films. We got the future is not going well. There was some kind of dialogue that we all talked over. We kind of got the gist over it.
Something happened.
Yeah.
There were
People were angry and they nuked each other.
There was a slight disagreement.
Yeah, there was a disagreement or something. There arose a difference of opinion.
The difference of opinion.
I hate when there's a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like
That's
that.
when the nukes fall.
Yeah, well, and fall they did. And now everyone's sterile.
Now everybody's got to live in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were they in California? Like, I had to look up. They were in California.
Who knows?
Have any of you in this room just really explored California before?
No.
There's
these
an
areas?
interesting piece of trivia about this. They filmed this on a place called like the Indian Camp Movie Reserve.
that,
So
yeah.
like a place where they make a bunch of movies. This was the last movie filmed on that before they leveled the whole thing and put up like duplexes
Is
and
that
shit
because
like
they
that.
saw this movie and
Yeah,
they're like,
and then
no.
they fucking filmed. They probably filmed Over the Edge after that.
Oh, shit, right, yeah.
Hey, that was Colorado, friend. Not all wastelands look the same. Ours has a little more of a dry heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go Wolverines.
This, in my mind, this has got to be like somewhere near Nevada.
Oh, yeah, I can feel that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks like it sucks.
Yeah.
Just like Nevada.
Well, we get Sam Hell, and, he's raising hell. What can you tell us about this guy in real life, Lamar? Roddy Piper. I mean,
damn.
Lamar's our wrestling guy.
I've been following his career since he came into the WWF in 1984. He's been wrestling before that, too. He's wrestled in a lot of territories. I didn't really follow his career up until then. In 84 was a huge expansion in WWF, where Vince McMahon was just buying a whole bunch of talent from other territories. Roddy Piper was wrestling in Pacific Northwest at the time, and he was a big deal in that territory. He was kind of like, he's a main heel. Plays a villain his whole career.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
He's one of the top heels in wrestling.
Wasn't
in the
his
80s.
shtick that he wore like a kilt and had bagpipes?
Yes, that's his whole shtick.
Well, the big thing is, he's a villain in the wrestling world, but he's like the badass with a heart of gold in all the movies. And that's why people are like, whoa, what? Like, I kind of totally dig this guy. I feel totally changed his career. Like, absolutely. That was definitely a way different effect. Like, he does some low budget films like this, but They Live, I feel just totally changed him.
Yeah. I think one thing with Roddy Piper is in his wrestling career, he wasn't really known for a lot of power moves, not suplexes or slams or anything, but his whole shtick was just being a crazy nut.
Yeah.
So he just kicked guys in the balls, and one of his signature moves was the poke the guys in the eyes.
Oh shit! Was it?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he used that move. I was going to reference that later, but that's one of his signature moves. And,
That's awesome.
He's known for doing the dirty tricks, and that's what I kind of like about Roddy Piper. So making the transition to acting from wrestling, I think it was pretty natural for him.
I like it.
because he had to be more of an actor in the ring than just a brawny guy.
So imagine this script falls on your plate.
Yeah.
You're a very nationally renowned wrestler. Everyone knows who you are in the wrestling world. I mean, at this point in time. And then hell comes to Frogtown. Script comes, and he's like, hell yeah.
I'm assuming that's
He's
exactly
probably like, I'm
what
gonna get to
happened.
bang some ladies, dude.
Yeah.
He was looking to get into acting, and I am assuming that's exactly what happened. Is this script came along, and he picked it up.
And his agent, high on coke, was like, "In this movie, you save the world by fucking." And he's like, "Yes, I would like to."
And then he played the bagpipes
participate.
and jumped on a desk and started doing a little jig. And then he tagged in Jake the Snake.
Most likely a true story.
And this time, only the snake showed up.
Oh,
All three of them.
all three of them.
No!
Hey.
Well, okay, yeah, Sam Hell walking around doing some stuff. He's picked up. There's a bunch of charges that are against him. Things aren't looking good. This guy's got some kind of background we don't fully know about, but he seems like some kind of known vigilante.
He's like a war hero, but also no one likes him.
Yeah, like that's what I
Yeah.
mean, like vigilante, like he's done stuff and everyone's like, that's super cool, but you've got charges, bro. So like people like kind of handle things differently. They're like, we really dig it and we're going to drop charges, but like we're going to work some weird gray areas. And MedTech is one of those gray areas. They have him sign some contracts. They're like, hey, buddy, just sign all this stuff. We're going to drop the charges. We need you back in. We need a guy who can handle himself in the
We
field.
need your seed.
Yeah, and we need your seed. He's like, making babies.
We heard you can fuck, so
We've heard
That's what
things.
we
My
want.
name is
And
my
the-
name is Buck.
Yeah, and then the person saying all these things just turns around and gives all this narrative exposition. Well, ever since the war, 68% of all men are sterile, and it goes on this. And it was very bizarre. Like he wouldn't know those things, but we'd now
Well,
the audience.
someone
know.
had to tell us.
Yeah, I'm happy for it.
What about the narration in the beginning? They literally said half of this,
Yeah. Well, they didn't want to make it too long.
right?
Yeah.
Well, most women
They
can't.
want to get
have-
down to the baby making business.
Yeah, like most
and that's
women
their
can't
only
have children.
business.
We need more manpower, and the more people we have, all these armies need people. We need your seed. So he's like, you got to do what you got to do. And he signs all the forms haphazardly, not realizing he's got an electronic codpiece strapped on, which is very blatant to the audience. He's like, but I'm going to take it off now. And they're like, yeah, not so much. You try to tamper with this, there's going to be some problems. Only we could take it
Some
off.
cock shocks.
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
dong is now government equipment.
Is cockshocks the tagline?
Because there's a lot of cock shocking that goes on in this film.
There is quite a bit.
Yeah.
I can't tell if he likes it or not.
It's
Obvious points where he doesn't like it. But yeah,
into it.
it's a gradual shock.
yeah. It's so loud too. It beeps constantly.
Yeah. It does beep constantly.
It's not a very sneaky
No.
god piece.
It's not very flattering.
Well, it just beeps when he gets too far away from the ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Also-
Gotta keep that wang close.
Also, like, you would know there is this huge metal codpiece on you. It's like strapped to your waist. You're half robotic now. It's
Right.
crazy. But in addition, if someone was saying like, I have to go back out into the wastelands or something like this, and that this guy has some kind of, military background, I'd be like, yeah, but I could have like weapons too. Like I would make that abundantly clear.
His cock is the weapon.
Nice. Oh, that's Frogtown.
But there, it doesn't inhibit anything. There's a flap.
That's
He
true.
can still
Yeah,
go
he can
about
go
his-
pee-pee still.
Yeah, he can go pee pee.
Which
go number
begs the
onesies.
question: does he have access to the flap, or does she have to hit a button?
No, I think
or-
he can open the flap.
Yeah, I mean, she insinuated. He's like, well, when I have to, she's like, there's a flap.
Eh.
Well, it was supposed
Well,
to
yeah,
be.
he gets a hand job to the flap.
Yeah,
later
they open the
in
flap
movie.
later when Centinella goes downtown.
Yeah, he can't control it. It's tied to like his biometrics.
Her
Like, when
earrings.
he's horny, he can access
guess.
it.
God, makes a little sense.
So he has to get horny every time he needs to take a piss.
Just remember,
Yeah.
Lamar.
What's wrong with that?
Just remember, loose, you're loose. Everybody for loose.
Kick off those Sunday goddamn shoes.
That's not the future we're in.
No.
We're not in a Kevin Bacon-y future.
That's good. You read that fine print before you put on the cod piece.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this thing's huge. So yeah, what is it? Spangle and
Citronella.
Is it Citronella?
I don't.
Where
Is
did
it-
they
didn't
get these
remember
names?
anyone
I think
in
it's
this movie.
Centinella?
Centinella, like a sentinel. Yeah.
A Centinella?
Yeah. Fontanelle.
What? Where did they get
Well-
these names?
Well, they're like, giddy up, bro. Next day, they've got this pink car with a gun top, which is kind of fun.
It's like a big. Like,
It's the Mary Kay car of the future.
There we go.
It's like a fucking Mary Kay Ratfink car.
I love it.
Yeah. No, it's dope as fuck.
Yeah, so they drive off, and he's like, ugh. And then they get to the border patrol, and this is like a scene that just isn't really
I
necessary
don't know why
for anything.
The border guards are like, "What are you doing?
They're like-
Something." And
they're like,
Hell's
"We get-"
like, "Fuck, what?"
Yeah. And yeah, she's like, let us through. He's like, I don't let anyone through. Or
She's like,
something.
"But I have a pass, which is this piece of paper that says pass on it."
Right. And then he's like, fine,
All
let him
right.
through. And then they drive off like 10 feet, and Hell's like, you almost got me killed back there. I'm like, I don't really
Yeah.
know how. Like, what?
That's, I didn't,
Like, they didn't
that's
do
not how
anything.
I read that situation.
Yeah. And just remember, it's Samuel Hellman.
So, yeah, Hellman, like the mayonnaise.
I was just gonna say he's the great grandson. This is the legacy. Maybe if you did not know, Jeremy, there is a sequel and a
man.
sequel to that, friend.
Yeah, there's 3 of these
Yeah, there's
things.
a lot of these movies.
Yeah, those are 2 films I will not be viewing. Maybe the second one. We got.
I'm assuming they don't have Roddy in them.
They don't, but
Like,
Zatar.
Yeah.
He makes an appearance in the second one, who is a actor that Mike and I strangely find ourselves watching film after film with this guy.
But you won't watch these 2 films.
No, I think I'll watch the second one.
I would.
But the third one, I don't think so. Read a review of the third one.
It's just too much.
It was as far as I go.
Which one is the third one? Because there's actually kind of a lot of these.
No, there's 2 that are listed. I think one is listed incorrectly. It is like 2 and 3, and that Toty one is actually 2, I think. So if you like load one of them up, like it's the same movie.
I'm assuming.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming these movies are about his sons and daughters. I guess maybe.
No,
Yeah, all the babies he produced.
It's Sam Hell.
Oh, really? Just
Yeah.
a play by. Wow.
Straight up a different dude.
Yeah,
There's
whatever.
Frogtown
Recast 'em.
2, and then there's, God, this guy makes a lot of Toad Warrior. Is that a
I think
different
that's
movie?
the same movie.
That's the same movie. Okay.
Yeah. This.
Or that's
No,
the
no,
same
that-
or that's the same movie to 3. I don't
Okay,
know.
it would be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have to make those stacks of frog money before he croaked.
So Return to Frogtown is the sequel, and then Toad Warrior was released in 1986, and then re-released as Max Hell Frog Warrior.
Max.
in
Okay, that's what it
2002.
is.
Max Hell Frog Warrior.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
No.
That movie has Joe Estevez in it.
What movie doesn't
my
have Joe
God.
Estevez in it? Joe Estevez is sitting next to Jeremy right now.
So that's a must watch.
Yeah.
Joe Estevez is trying to bed Jeremy's wife as we speak.
Wait a minute. Was that the Joe Estevez? Was he the
Joe!
running roller gator too?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
wow.
this director loves Joe Estevez.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, so there's also Max Hell Frog Warrior, a Zen rough cut. Is that like a?
Yeah, there might be also some like fan stuff you're looking into now.
Ooh,
These
that means
all-
you went too deep.
I don't know. The poster for this movie looks fucking fresh, guys.
Well,
Anyway,
after a bit of driving, it's camp time, and camp time gets
There's a lot of
super weird.
camping also.
So
they love camping.
Spangle, who is in charge of the operation, she comes out in basically military lingerie, and out of nowhere. She's like, oh, I'm just going to play this like peekaboo game out of my tent. And Sam Hell's like, I don't really know what the hell's going on. As an audience member, I absolutely have no idea what's going on. But she explains.
You've never seen the Wasteland lingerie series?
Well,
Victoria's Secret?
Yeah.
I have. But I haven't gotten this season's.
I mean, we're collectively wearing it now.
So yeah, Sam Hell is baffled by this. But luckily, Spangle explains herself. Well, she's been trained in so many ways, and we'll learn all about that throughout this film. But she's been trained, and
In the art of seduction.
yeah, well, that's later. This one's to keep him aroused.
Well, yeah, she's like doing all this sexy stuff, and he's like, no. But then finally, he's like, all right, I'll get down on this. And then she zaps his wang with her little earing button.
Yeah, he's like,
He's like,
make
what
up
the
your mind.
fuck, bro?
Yeah, and that's
So
when
it's like having blue balls. Like Like that's what they need. This
she's
from
like,
this
I gotta
guy.
keep you
Makes it more potent.
Gotta keep you aroused.
Yeah, and
we're
that's
basically just gonna
yes.
edge you all fucking week.
Yep. Oh, just what Jeremy said. Like, yeah, like this idea is we're to keep you potent, and then these women have been kidnapped, and we're gonna find them,
And you're gonna fuck.
Yeah,
and
you're gonna unleash.
you have to impregnate all of them, which is the premise of this age-old tale. Theseus has to go get the women that were kidnapped, and Ariadne is going to lead him through a labyrinth. It's all the same
Yeah,
thing.
right. Prometheus gets his liver eaten out every day by an eagle, and then fucks.
Well, there's a little twist here, as Mike has highlighted. Centinella is like, hey, I'm just going to take off all my clothes and like, let's fool around. And he's like, cool. And she's like, well, I'm barren and I just want to mess around. I've heard stories about you. And he's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then
Then Dr. Cockblock shows up.
yeah, so if he gets out of line, he gets a buzz in the cod.
Yeah, no one wants it. Did anyone else notice Citronella's weird tan line, or was that just me?
I kind of noticed.
Okay.
When she was the only one willing to get the tits out in this movie.
Yeah,
so
she
it was
whipped
kind
him
of
out
distracting.
right away.
Well,
Jared
But yeah, that
Stories.
tan line was weird.
Yeah.
she like rolled out in the sand. I felt uncomfortable for her because she was laying in the sand for a minute, and you just knew that was going to ruin her entire trip.
No one likes the sand.
Yeah.
It's all grainy and it gets everywhere. Yeah.
Spangle came up like, "You're out of uniform.
Yeah.
It's a good line.
Like, stop jacking that guy off, soldier.
Go back to sleep." And that scene just kind of ends like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, oh well, he didn't get any.
Poor hell.
I think Jeremy wants to be on our game show, Cod Zappers.
Everyone's a loser on that one.
Isn't that a real
Yeah.
thing in Japan?
Probably.
Yeah.
They had a lot of weird stuff in Japan in terms of game shows.
Us talking about it probably just zapped someone.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite game shows from Japan is where they have to run up stairs that are coated in like fucking water. And
The one where
Dawn.
like everyone breaks their fucking ribs. Yeah. That looks horrifying.
Wait, what? What is what is this game show?
there's like a team of like there's like a whole group of people and they like slick down these stairs, and at the top of the stairs there's like a prize. And to watch these Japanese people try to get up to the top of these stairs is just a hoot.
Let's
it's a good time.
Let's talk about the prize. Like what's the prize?
I'm not sure, man. I don't think a lot of people make it to the top.
Yeah, because I'm like, if we're talking like here's $100 or like you get a little trophy, I'm like that's insane. But if someone's like,
It's a Hello Kitty backpack.
you have 5
Yeah.
years of your job's pay.
right.
Like
you're
it's
gonna
an
have a-
Akira laser disc.
There was a Japanese game show that I watched. It was like it's a compilation. It was like years and years ago. And one of them was like someone like wielded like a cannon into someone's bedroom and it went off and the guy just like went ape shit, like jumped up, like started screaming, thought he was dead.
As one does
Yeah.
when a cannon goes up.
The prize. Oh, and it was like a coworker that did this to him. The prize, your boss approved it and you got the day off.
Wow.
Nice. Recoup.
I was like, huh.
I would need a little more than that. If somebody set a cannon off in my bedroom with me like unexpecting it and being sound asleep.
So for the next 3 hours as you scream yourself to sleep again. Day off.
might have been well worth it.
Got some scrambled eggs and bacon in the corner for you, bro.
I could go for some scrambled eggs right now.
Bummer that this is a Monday. See you back in tomorrow for Tuesday. Maybe it could at least be on a Friday for someone.
All right, we got off track there.
No,
that's
we're fine. Yeah.
Also, fun fact that I have gone through half of my notes already.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Someone else has to drive this fucking pony.
Well, hell's got work to do.
Yeah.
So
work is fucking, by the way.
well, no sex with just a rogue soldier for funsies. You got to save it because we've got an army to build. So we're basically off on the next day, and yeah.
That's when he discovers that what the earrings do, because he has to take a leak and he tries to run off.
Yeah.
But one of Spangle's earrings goes off, and it's a proximity alarm. Mm-hmm. Essentially, he can't. They never really talked about the distance of how far he can travel.
It seems different.
It's
depending
quite
on
a
the
bit
scene, yeah.
because
it's a ways.
at one point he has to run like.
Well, yeah, they
for a
drive
while.
off without him.
And at another point in time, he's in a underground city, which
Yeah.
he seems relatively very far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a continuing thing through the movie.
now we have our second night of camping. because we love fucking camping.
This is a very short night of camping.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they find something on the sensors and they go chase down some poor woman who's running away.
Well, at first, Hell tries to run off, as we noted.
Yeah.
But then this is the moment where he gets out of the car, right? And then he has to run back to camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drive off without him and he has to run back to camp.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a lengthy thing. So the thing is, again, if he's too far away, it's going to blow off his junk. Like that's what he's being threatened with. So they're like, you're being rude. And then they dump him out of a car and he's like, take it easy. And then you're beep, beep, beep. And he just has to run. So you see.
He knew that at this point.
Yeah.
But
He played stupid at that time.
I don't know.
I totally believe
Hell,
he just
come on.
forgot at that time.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah,
Maybe.
this is where the sensors go off again, and he's like, "Oh my God, is it me?" They're like, "It's not you." And then this random, this is craziness. I want us to slow-mo for a second.
okay.
The state in which they find this woman versus the next morning of this woman.
It's jarring.
What?
Well, like they chase down this woman. She's
Well,
wearing
they
like
chased
rags.
down a cave woman.
Right, she's all like feral and like,
I know. This woman can't speak a
won't
language.
talk,
Yeah, she's like lashing out. And I understand, like, listen, this woman might have been abused. Like, I mean, like, very serious for a second. Like, maybe abused, she's running away. But, like, this woman is ravenous. Yeah, she is feral. This is, like, she literally looks like she came out of a cave. And this is caveman times. Like, this is bananas. And then they're like, we're going to trank her up. And we got to
gets
calm her
an
down.
injection, and then she gets another injection.
Yeah.
Of the hot bee.
The first medical injection is at first you're like, oh, like she's just so wild.
It just kind of calms her down. Yeah.
And you kind of have the vantage point of Sam Hell. You're like, okay, okay, that makes sense.
But then Spangler's like, now that she's all zonked out,
you have to have sex.
You
with
gotta
her,
do some
which
fucking.
is super gross.
And he's like,
yeah,
I don't really want to.
And he's super grossed out about this. Like everyone's grossed out about this. And she's like, this is part of the job, and you need to do this.
Well, thankfully, she's trained in the art of seduction.
Yeah.
So she does her fun little.
A lane dance.
Kind of.
Yeah, that was horrible, by the way.
You weren't feeling that? That didn't do it for
No
you?
one, no one was feeling it. He shuts it down too.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, they call that the
stuff.
awkward silence
Yeah.
at the end of that dance.
Yeah.
In the end, he's just like, you know what? Just cut the dance off. Take your glasses off.
If I fuck
He's
this
like,
broad,
I
will
will
you
bone
stop?"
this lady. Just leave, please.
Yeah. So I'm referencing Julia Louis-Dreyfus dancing as Elaine in Seinfeld. Imagine that and apply that if you were a stripper.
Yeah.
Because that's what I saw, like a more seductive attempt at
Honestly,
something.
that's a strip club I'd go to.
Like a stripper in mid-stroke. Like she's up there on the stage, she's having a stroke. Like that is the dance that just...
Yeah, and I
Fellas.
like that Sam Hell's like, nah.
Yeah.
And then she feels sad. He's like, it's okay, but nah.
Go put your glasses back on.
Yeah, let's talk about those glasses later. That was a bold move.
Yeah.
But yeah, he then agrees to sleep with this woman, and then the next morning happens.
Yeah.
And
The woman
They're
is
like all cuddling now.
Yeah.
And she
she's-
can speak.
She's lucid. She's like, oh, hey, I just
she's
escaped
in
from
like
this
an
place.
Blown the
she's
stability
like in
back into her.
Yeah, she's like in an 80s tracksuit. And like it's like pink. It looks like she came out of the Goldbergs, and
Yeah.
like her hair's done a little bit. It's like primped up.
Yeah.
Crimped up.
She's clean.
Yeah, I was like, is this a different actor? I didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah,
for a
no one
second.
knew. All she needed was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
that
needs a
sweet
little
D.
Roddy
Well,
Rod.
There was like a brief line where she woke up and it was like when Spangle was like, "What the fuck happened here?" And Centinella was like, I didn't do it. He did it.
He cleaned her up.
He cleaned her up good.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, no one
But
did.
the next they basically tell her to go to the headquarters or whatever.
Right.
They're like, "Hey, we've been driving for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
You just walk in that direction and
Yeah,
call
it's
it good."
over there. Yeah, they strap like
I
a
know.
fucking Boy Scout compass to her wrist.
And I think they
send
say
her on her
they'll
way.
find you within a few days.
Yeah.
Like you have no
Yeah.
Yeah, no provisions.
You have no
Yeah.
supplies.
Fair
Take
enough.
off into the wasteland on your own. By the way, we've been driving for 3 days. We're on our second night of camping. And you'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
With any luck, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pregnant women get treated like royalty, so you'll be fine. It's going to be fine.
I have a theory. Hear me out. That Spangle gave her probably like an oat chewy bar. Take it.
Oh yeah, like a little snack.
There's one. There's one in your hand.
It was in the jumpsuit. It came with it.
I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
But you did it.
Yeah, there's like a Capri Sun in there too.
Well, they also promise her, like as you guys know, they're like living like royalty. They're like when they pick you up, like you're pregnant, they will treat you like a god.
Yeah.
And she's like, great.
Yeah, who's they? Was it the weirdos at the Border Patrol that were going to shoot him? No one seems pretty chill here.
Everyone's fine.
Yeah.
Well, just remember, we did kind of skip like something at the very beginning. One of the few males we have seen is like a surly soldier who's supposed to interrogate Sam Hell, and they were like, you've been relieved, and we're just dismissing you.
Isn't that Dr. Sodom?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So early on, there's another bozo. So yeah, we've met like 4 bozos.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first scene, which we didn't
Bozos
talk
of the
about
wasteland?
because it's inconsequential, just some bozo gets shot.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, those two bozos messing around, and one bozo shoots another bozo.
That's what bozos do.
And then we meet the other bozo.
Bozo shit.
Yeah.
I'm still considering what Squid Lips is supposed to be.
That's fair.
Don't worry about that.
There's 5 seconds.
I
in this
can't not
movie
worry
is
about
just-
it. It's gonna haunt my dreams.
Squid lips. We didn't see any squid lips in this movie.
Yeah, we did.
Well, there's a guy named Squid
Yeah,
Lips.
the first guy we saw was Squid Lips. Your introduction to Frogtown was Squid Lips.
And what was that? The character's name? Like sad bitch or whatever.
They suck, guy.
Sad soft guy at the beginning. I remember.
We should quote Spangle on one of our on one of our shirts, and it's just, "Oh, you need inspiration." Yeah, so you should put that on the back of the T-shirt.
And trained in the art of seduction in the front, so I don't have to go near schools anymore.
There. Wow.
The poor doofus.
The poor doofus. That's
There
what
we go. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
well, now that this woman is on the road, we have another stop, and Spangle's like, "Hey, this is what's basically going to happen," and she suits up in a poor man's Princess Leia slave outfit.
Yeah, they do the reverse prisoner thing.
And she's like, "I'm your prisoner now." This seems half-assed because she hasn't said anything, and basically cuffs her neck and gives him a slave chain.
He's having fun with this, though.
But she's like, "I could still control all of your shock cod, your codnings with my earrings. So don't you mess with me." And then they prance off into the woods, and then they finally reach Frogtown, which is an overrun mining town, like in real life.
Yeah.
What the
It's
hell?
like it's like an
facilities?
abandoned steel mill.
That's what it looks like.
What
Yeah.
in God's name?
It was
And on the way to
all they could
Frogtown, he
afford.
takes her glasses off and just throws them into the fucking dirt.
Yeah.
Those are gone now.
And it was a compliment. It was a very, very nice thing for Sam to do. He brushes her hair a little bit aside, a little above her ear, takes off her glasses. I think he says something sweet like, "You look attractive," and throws her glasses off.
It was
the
a
the glasses she needs to see.
It was a she's all that moment. He's like, "You've got glasses and a ponytail, and this shit's just not going to work
Yeah.
for me." So,
And then they played Kiss Me.
yeah. She falls down the stairs.
It's me.
Yeah.
See, now it's in her head. Now she's all that, all of you.
Yeah. Gotta go re-listen to She's All That again.
She's all up into that.
episode.
Yeah. Fountains of Wayne started playing or whatever.
Damn.
That's how it happens.
Yes.
That's how you get to that.
Wait, is that Fountains of Wayne?
That's sixpence.
Sixpence
none the
none the
richer.
richer. Jesus. Okay.
Wow. Well, we're in Frogtown, and oh my god, like in reality, Frogtown, yes, is this rundown steel mill that's supposed to look. I don't know what they're going for. Appealing.
It's supposed to look like a rundown steel mill. And they do
Well, it does.
a fantastic job.
They do a great job at that.
I did like the look of it. The aesthetics are kind of rusty on the outside.
Yeah, and then we're in the dicey area of Frogtown. You could tell because there's an illuminated martini sign and there's music playing, and we're basically in a strip club.
Well,
and
it's like Frog
Yeah.
Coyote Ugly.
yeah, well, we don't know that at first because we just see some kind of like legs dancing and some skirts, and we pan up and whoa, we got some real.
Yeah, this is our first view
We
of
got
the
some real
frog
frogs
people.
going on.
The mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got some frog leg.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, he orders a drink at the bar, and it's super. What was it?
He said industrial waste.
Yeah, it probably was.
Hey, but good thing.
Yeah.
we get a cameo friend. We get Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes, yeah.
Rory Calhoun.
I was waiting for this guy to show up.
Yeah, it was about fucking time.
Collin actively was waiting.
He's like, where's I was promised Rory Calhoun.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know who this chap may be, but
Yeah, well, there he is.
I came to Frogtown for a reason.
Well, him and Hell are
I think
old
his name is
friends.
Lonnie O'Toole. Is that his name?
Yeah.
In the film.
Yeah, it's really nice. There's this backstory we get in a couple minutes where it's like a real sentimental moment where he's telling Hell's telling Spangle, he's like, you know that guy? When people didn't need to give, a shit about anything or anyone, I was a little guy. And that guy took me aside and he really made my life differently. So let me just say that, nice sentimental moment.
Father figure.
This guy seems like his father.
Wait, his what?
His father.
Nice.
And what? That's just sad. He saddles up as like, you old son of a bitch. And he's like, that's great. And then he says his story like he's his father, and then doesn't give a shit about him or really talk to him throughout the rest of the film.
No.
Yeah.
If this guy raised you, or is this a story where this guy bought me a drink once and he was a cool dude? Because it's way more that than he was like my father.
Could have been a little bit of both.
That's true.
Well, and they totally set up as a premise that this was supposed to be a super dangerous place and had no problems walking in.
Yeah, it seems pretty
transacting exactly how
Yeah,
they
walked
wanted
right
to.
into the strip bar.
You come in with a slave woman. That opens a lot of doors.
We got to negotiate
Yeah.
with Leroy. And
Oh, Leroy, the frog wearing a fucking fez.
I loved
Leroy was great. Yeah.
Collin is dressed like Leroy right now.
Well, Leroy is dressed like John Rhys Davies from Indiana Jones.
Yes,
Yes,
good sir.
yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
He has like a fucking 25-cent eye patch on. It's made out of construction paper and a rubber band.
What were those? Those snorkel goggles or whatever.
It's like
those,
the little glasses they give you in a tanning salon.
Yeah, where half of one on one eye. It's really bizarre.
Dude, I don't
looking.
know.
Well, if that's the deal. Looney Tunes has set it up. You've got to negotiate with Leroy. He's
Yeah.
the man about town, and if you want things done, he just got himself a deal. He's mining uranium, but he gets to keep 20%. How did he do this? Negotiations with Leroy.
Yeah.
So this episode of Rabbit Troop Sucks has been brought to you by Negotiations with Leroy. Yes, good sir.
And then in 20 seconds, we need to find a different sponsor because it turns out it is not negotiations.
Leroy.
Yeah,
No,
Leroy
it's
has
Totally
nobody.
sucks. Not only
Leroy has a 25-second part in this movie.
Yeah.
What the shit, Leroy?
Yeah.
Let me open with this. So this is a low budget film. So I'm going to use my imagination a little bit. We're in this seedy part of town, and it looks like there's 5 people there because there's 5 or 6 people there. But I think we're supposed to believe that maybe there's 50 to 100 people at this bar. Okay, I'm going to open my imagination. Leroy's been conducting weirdo business every day. We just talked about the uranium deals that Looney Tunes is getting. Then Bull walks in. Bull whips Spangle over. He's like, whose is this? Meaning, whose slave woman is this? And Sam Hell's like, it's mine. He's like, you can't do side barters. That's the rule of Frogtown. Oh, what? What is happening? This guy's gonna... You open the door to Frogtown, and there's Leroy 40 feet in.
Doing side barters.
Doing side business the moment you walk in.
Maybe Bull doesn't come by very often.
Well, Bull did warn Leroy about all this shenanigans that he's running, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Bull's kind of a dick.
yeah,
Yeah, and Bull's the one wearing the eye patch.
Bull's
I was
got-
mistaken.
Bull's got the
I
eye
Well,
was
we
saying
need
it was
we need, we
Leroy.
need to clarify who Bull is. Let's not just skip over him.
That's true.
He is a boisterous frog fellow, and let's go with his opening. Everyone's creating a ruckus, and he needs to get everyone's attention quite quick. Shut your hole! And follows up where Sam Hell starts mouthing off. Collin, what has he got for Sam Hell?
I don't remember.
This is, hey, flat lips. And then he knocks Hell down, and Hell just goes unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be alarmed too if a giant frog from Super Mario 2, who turns out to be a dream but is the end boss, but a real piece of shit at the end. You know what I'm talking about? US Super Mario 2.
Yeah.
All of a sudden busts down the door. No, shut your hole.
This This is kind of weird.
Well, and
'cause-
Roddy's kind of a pussy throughout this movie. He doesn't really do anything.
That's true.
No, yeah,
Well, he's got flat lips.
yeah. Can't do a lot.
He's got the D, man. He's got that loaded gun.
yeah.
So anyone notice
Rod
that?
D.
Anyone else notice that Bull is way shorter than our Fez wearing guy? Like I feel like
Fez looks like a lizard, like he's skinny.
I feel like
and
Leroy-
tall.
He's like a salamander.
Yeah.
I feel like Leroy could have easily taken Bull. I don't know what
Leroy's a
diseases,
fucking bitch.
but he is a bitch. I mean, all he knows is wearing that white suit.
He's
and
all
Fez and
side
scarf.
deals and fast talk.
He just pouts immediately.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to. He can't. He's not a man of
That's a
action.
bitch,
Tonight
yeah.
at 9:00, the Putzes of Frogtown. Do you know where your kids are at night? Are they with Leroy?
You better fucking hope.
Hopefully not, man.
I thought this was just a laundry business. I didn't know what was happening. Oh no, Leroy, no.
Like I left the kids with Leroy tonight.
You can't leave your kids with Leroy. They're out in
was
the
a cheap
alley
sitter.
doing private birders.
Yeah, no, it's no good.
Shut your hole. I want to check in with Collin here for a second. So, Collin had not seen this movie, and this is for me where the movie is just awesome. Like up until this point in time, the movie is like super weird. And like I'm totally fine with the idea of like last man alive, you've got to impregnate people, but the situations he's in are super gross. And yeah, Collin and I were noting like they're uncomfortable to watch here and there. But now we're in Frogtown, and now this movie is like the second half of the movie is a completely different movie, and I feel, honest to God, this is the movie I am recommending. Second half of Frogtown.
Yeah, absolutely. Right at the beginning, 3 minutes in, when they set up the premise that like, dude, where you have to go impregnate the ladies of the wastelands. I'm like, I'm out. This is this is gonna be super uncomfortable. There's no way this is going to be entertaining at all. It's just gonna be super awkward. And then Bowles, shut your hole, brought me right back in. I think Arabella, the frog dancer we saw, is by far the best actress in this entire
Absolutely.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
She crushed it. And
Who is that? Someone notable?
no.
Okay, that's a shame.
Best costume too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird how the facial reactions on this.
Yeah, so now we're in this like steamy, dark, weird Jim Henson of the night kind of town, and it's Frogtown, and the whole vibe is different. And even though things are still kind of weird sexual in the background, it's not you need to sleep and here's a codpiece and I'm taking off my clothes, but here's this woman and you're gonna sleep with her and she's unconscious. Like I don't need any of that. Frogtown is a total different story, and Spangle is immediately carried off. She's gone at this point in time, and she's going to be maybe dinner for these people. I don't know if that was real or just maybe like a fun threat towards her. And yeah,
Cannibalism is always a fun threat.
hell yeah. And Sam wakes up. Yeah, Sam wakes up, and it's Arabella. Arabella is their contact, and they saw her quickly earlier. She said to Spangle, like, I love you. And they're like, what the hell? That's their contact phrase. If this person comes up to you, that's what they're going to say. And Hal wakes up, I love you. And he's like, wait, what? Oh, you're the contact. And he kind of puts it together pretty quickly, like, thanks so much for saving me. Oh, my God. And we need to save Spangle. And she's like, yeah, anything.
But first,
Yeah. But before we do that,
maybe some plowing.
Yeah.
well, that's what I underlined, Sam D.
Sam D. Yeah.
His stories are legendary. You have to get a piece of that.
Yeah. Yeah. She's heard about all of his stuff.
Yeah, he's legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah, the full baguette.
Well,
I like how he's like, all right, we're gonna do this,
Yeah.
but you need to wear a bag.
yeah,
over
I got
your
this.
head.
I got this bag. It's kind of what I'm into.
That's a real bag and tag situation.
Bag him and tag him, and it almost works. He's a little.
I mean, we get
Bag
pretty
him
close
and
there.
Sam Hell's been in stickier situations.
Ew. Hey. Well, what saves the day is this fucking cod piece because it starts a beeping.
It's going.
Yeah,
off.
he's like, whoopsie doodles.
He's like, oh shit, the
my junk's about to
Spangler's
explode.
getting too far away.
Yeah.
Not in a fun way.
Yeah, no, not in the way you were hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they gotta go. They gotta go on the move.
Yeah.
She knows a shortcut. Thank God.
And they go through a shortcut.
They
and
do.
Spangle is now going to Toty.
Commander Toty.
Yeah, everyone loves Commander Toty. And Hal finds Spangle. She is in some room while he's spying.
Yeah. Well, because Hell is kind of a doofus, he's like creeping above from the rafters, and he just falls down and knocks himself unconscious.
Yeah.
And splits open like a crate of shotguns.
Right.
Yeah, so now we
he's
get
such a
now we get a
fucking
couple
idiot.
of things happening. So Bull takes Hell back to a side room, hoists him via a chain to the ceiling, and kind of strips him down, and is planning to take a chainsaw to his codpiece to cut it off. Hell is freaking out. He's like, this thing is rigged to explode. Oh my God, you're going to kill me. This isn't
This
cool.
is great.
Right.
While simultaneously, Spangle is in a harem of women.
Learning the dance of the three snakes.
How do you wake up?
That's how I wake up every morning.
I'm going to say two things. Halfway through this movie, I looked at Collin and I said, I fought in a war like this. And I'm going to say this to you guys now. This is how I typically wake up. Just being fanned
Right.
and draped with
Every day.
lace.
Well, one of those lace
Cloth.
cloths drapes him so hard, that it sets off the wiener buzzer.
Yeah, and he's like, oh my God.
He's like, I changed my mind. Cut the thing off.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah, so the chainsaw runs out of gas. It's like, and he's like, oh, I need gas. He's like, oh my God, this guy isn't going to cut off my cod piece. Thank God. And then this thing starts beeping. He's like, yep, cut it off. And he does.
Yeah.
And he's like, they would never rig it to blow, you foolish man.
But then it does, right in his goddamn face.
Yeah, so he takes off this piece. He's like, you fool. And then it blows off right in his face.
It does blow off right in his face.
It's kind of a comedic back and forth because as the
He took the
zapping
full
him,
load to the face.
He did take, yeah.
The bull's looking at him like, just calm down. I'm gassing up the chainsaw. Just relax.
I love
You're a
this
weird
scene.
little fella,
This
dude.
scene's great
This one
because
Roddy
his
Piper.
fucking face is amazing.
Bull is just fantastic in this.
Why did he even bother with that?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Just because it was really funny?
Yeah, he
think so,
wanted
yeah.
he wanted full access to the
Yeah.
D.
He was going to be the one to get it.
Yeah.
Well, another...
He wanted to see that legendary D.
Another clutch character move, I should say, is again from Arabella. She comes in and helps Sam Hell up and pretty much out.
Yeah.
She is clutch all throughout Frogtown.
Oh, she's driving the story for him.
Yeah, like she knows where to go. She's helped this dude now twice. I do feel he feels somewhat indebted. Like he is talking to her slightly differently. But then Bull really runs up and stabs her.
Yeah.
And you could tell Sam Hell is pissed.
Yeah.
Stabbed
Yeah.
with a drill.
Yeah,
That's
something.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a very like an industrial drill head. It was like super bizarre.
Well,
and
they are in a factory, so
Well,
they're
it'd
probably
be a-
just sitting around.
real bummer to get stabbed with
Yeah,
that.
we got a likable character dead already.
Yeah. Well, Sam Hell gets in a big old tussle with Bull, and he kills him. He stabs him right back. But
With the same drill, but yeah.
yeah, but unfortunately, Arabella and now Bull are both dead.
Womp womp.
Yeah, but Arabella would have been clutch, and they probably would have taken her with.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
She was an interesting character. She's like, I'm forced to like dance here, and she's basically enslaved. And she's like, all these people just want to be with me. I just want to be with you. It was kind of an interesting turn.
Yeah. She
Where are they
noted
going to
that-
take her back to, though? Like, back to the humans, where they'll be like, where she'll be shunned?
Exactly.
Like, oh, look at this hideous beast.
She noted that like all of the guys there are idiots, and she didn't want to be with them because they're idiots. And then what was attracted to like the biggest idiot we've seen this entire fucking
Yeah.
movie.
Yes.
You think
correct.
Sam Hell's an idiot? Come on.
We'll let the movie speak for itself.
You want to take human idiot or Frogtown idiot?
Yeah. Men suck in this movie. Men all suck in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Well, Spangle then goes to Toty, Commander Toty, and he's like, dance. And she then does another Elaine
This is a
dance.
very long dance scene, by the way.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, I was just trained. She's like, the dance of the three snakes. The women in the harem kept saying, you've got to learn this dance. You've got to learn this dance. You've got to learn this dance.
Right.
Like 50 times.
Yeah,
And she's
not
like,
doing it right killed the last girl.
But then they never teach her the dance. They
No,
just
they don't.
drape
They just keep repeating it over and over.
Yeah, but then somehow she knows the dance and does the dance. And
Right.
the
And-
three snakes are aroused.
But yeah, well, her dance is like somewhere between Elaine's dance and like Tina from Bob's Burgers,
Yeah.
just kind of flailing around. But yeah, the three snakes are pretty stoked about this. The three snakes are.
You can see him dancing under his loincloth.
It's his penises.
The P9.
Toty's 3 P9.
Is that a shirt?
It's Toty. Yeah, it's not. I'm not making that shirt.
You should. Yeah, you should totally make that shirt.
Okay.
For someone. Yeah, and then he's aroused. He's like, "That's fantastic." He's like, "Oh, fantastic! Yes, yes."
Oh, he's getting all into it and sweat. He's like, oh.
Yeah, and then he's like, "You need to come over here."
Come over here.
This is my favorite part of this movie.
Might go for it.
I don't even remember exactly what she said. She's like, I'm not getting anywhere near those things.
I think he's like, you touch them.
I'm not touching those 3 things.
Don't get anywhere near those.
Yeah, I'm not getting anywhere near them. No.
This George Lucas saw this and he's like, that's what I want Darth Vader to say.
That's a true story.
That's where that came from.
This is where Sam breaks in. Sam to the rescue, right?
Yeah, Sam busts all up in there.
I'm not going anywhere near those things.
Just wielding 2 shotguns. Like, I'm fucking ready to roll.
That's true.
Yeah, he comes in. He's not having it. Also, so like Toty runs off, but he does got. Woo. He done got Spangle.
Go on, get.
So Sam Hell successfully rescues Spangle, but she notices a little something. They're each holding shotguns, and she leans over, and he's got a little necklace. So is your wife's. It was your wife's before the war. Nah, it was my daughter's. And they're like, there's a little different side to him. Like, she's like, well, there's a lot of things that have happened since the war. He's like, yeah, so shut up.
The war was a long time ago. Not for me.
Yeah, such strong character development took place right here.
Yeah. Which is thrown away like candy 10 minutes later.
I don't know. His relationship with the person he gave it to was so strong.
Yeah.
Well,
you gave me a handy that one time.
half. Give me half. You initiate it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's time to get spangled.
God damn it. Yeah, it is time to get spangled.
Well, they take down a bunch of guards.
Well,
Spangle comes
Spangle
over.
does, but-
Yeah, she walks over. She's like, "Oh my God! Like things are happening.
Oh my.
Commander Toty's in trouble. No!" And they're like, "What's going on?" And then she just like beats the crap out
knee
of
to the
everyone.
dick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
and,
fucking goes Krav Maga on him.
yeah. I do like. I mean, there's also the character development of the romance starts here, where Sam Hell comes over. And is like, "Do you even need me?" She's like, "Yeah, later they
not
will."
really, yeah.
And then she opens the door, and there's the harem.
The harem's there.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
at some point earlier, Looney Tunes shot the flare gun to get Centinella down here in the car.
And I think that's coming up, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, it's literally the next scene, I think. So they get all the girls, they go out.
Because it's like a paragraph ago.
And it
Yeah,
turns
yeah.
into fucking like Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, well, some
Here on out.
some
Yeah, the war
rando
boys are out.
some rando approaches Looney Tunes. They're like, "Why are you down here?" It's like, "You know what? That's like an interesting story. Why don't you come over here and I'll tell it to you?" And then he shoots the flare.
Oh, that's true.
That's right.
Looney to the rescue.
Yeah,
And they hop in a truck
Yeah.
yeah. So
They're
they're
back in the Mary Kay mobile.
when she
Centinella.
arrives. Centinella, who spent most of the movie just sitting on the top, smoking a cigarette with a
Yeah,
Gatling
she's got like a
gun.
black and mild up there.
She's so cool. She smokes
is.
100% of the time.
I like her.
Everyone knows smoking is super cool.
It's so cool.
As she smokes, she pokes.
That's, yes, that's right.
She tried.
Yeah. The flat. She couldn't get the flap out of the way, I guess.
Well, yeah. So everyone's running. So they get out. She's ready with the car, and Spangle's leading the way. Everyone's all out firing, and unfortunately, Looney Tunes gets shot a little bit. Also,
Just a little bit.
Citronella gets winged in the arm in a little bit. Yeah.
Gets a little gray.
She's fine
there.
now. She just wraps it up. She's good to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
as she's leaving, she's like shooting indiscriminately at a crowd.
Yeah.
Just random.
She doesn't
shooting
give
up.
a fuck.
No, it doesn't
dude.
matter.
Suppressive.
Her hair's
fire.
too short to care.
Yeah. Oppressive. Fine. Sorry. Yeah. Well, yeah, they drive off.
yeah. Well, the frogs are definitely after them. Like it's abundantly clear. They get in some kind of weird, like makeshift dune buggy of sorts. They're after
It has
them.
like a fucking cannon gun on it.
Yeah, and you don't really know who's firing at him at some point in time. So at one point in time, you would think it's them, and I think you see them and they outrun them, but at another point in time, there's like a bomb that goes off and they do stop. But boom, we got some dude who just appears, and this is the little twist. It's not Commander Toty.
No, it's the guy from earlier whose name I don't remember.
From the very beginning.
Who's now Dr. Sodom. Or
Yeah.
something Sodom.
Well, you got to be a doctor.
Yeah. I mean, does he have his PhD or is it like an honorary?
In Sodom.
In sodomy, yeah. The course load is intense.
Yeah,
for
Captain Devlin.
him. Captain Devlin, yeah.
All
okay.
right.
Yeah, he's like, you know what I've been doing? I've been stockpiling nukes. Whoa, what? that's a different wasteland
Yeah.
story. I've been stockpiling nukes, so I'm gonna kill all of you. I'm gonna take all of your stuff, and I'm gonna do all the things I want to do. I don't really know this guy's plan.
No, it was a major plot twist.
His plan was, so he was specifically upset that women were in control.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was going to nuke everything to kind of
Kill the bitches. I
fresh
think is what he
ladies.
said.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
he just-
giving weapons to the greeners, I believe is what he referred
something
to.
like that, yeah. To get uranium.
To get uranium so that he could have the only nukes so that he could reset the world with men being in charge again.
Colin pointed out
Strong move.
before this dude pops up, and as they're driving, Colin noted it was like, "Whoa, Hell's sporting a sweet samurai sword." Just
Yeah, he has a sword now.
he's just in the passenger seat of the truck, and
I don't remember him picking that up
No,
at any point.
no one
in time.
does.
I don't either. He
Maybe-
just was wearing it at one point.
Maybe it was in the car.
I mean, I would be wearing that.
If I saw it,
all the
I would take it.
Yeah.
Well, like-
I think that's a given.
The
Yeah.
only thing I saw in the car was like hanging lingerie.
Well, you need a lot of outfits.
Also a given.
That distracted you from this samurai
Yeah,
sword that was hanging
That's
obviously
probably
in
what
the back.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
that happens.
Sleight of hand.
But yeah, so this whole time that they're talking, Sodom is like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And Frog's like, I got a sword on my back. Someone give me the sword. And
I know. I
basically-
love this scene. Now he's talking without moving his mouth. Like,
and this woman behind him is one of the women from the harem.
They're all pacifists.
And yeah, she's like, no, I can't. He's like, she's going to kill us. You've got to give me the sword. And then he takes out a rocket launcher and points it at all of them. Oh, but then I think a gun.
A gun, yeah. Now he has a gun and a rocket launcher pointed at them. And
So-
at this
so
point, the
many-
woman's like, okay, I'll give you this.
Yeah,
sword.
so many firearms. Yeah. First, so he's going to shoot them. So she lifts out the sword from his back, which is sheathed, and then he basically catches it, spins it forward, and throws it through Sodom's chest.
Yeah.
It's a dope move.
Gotta say, it's a sweet sword.
yeah, Roddy didn't want to hear any of his fucking
No,
bitching
he was
anymore.
sick of this
It's like,
crap.
you're dead, dude.
Yeah. That's how you do it. That guy sucked.
It was a quick death too. He right through the heart, fell a couple feet, boom,
Yeah.
dead. Or
Yeah. Or is there something more to this froggy little story?
oh, I saw what you did there.
Wasn't I wrote it down somewhere. What was the children's book? Is it some frog dude was reading in Frogtown?
Oh yeah, the Frog Prince.
Oh yeah, the Frog Prince.
It's the only book they have.
Yeah, that's it. Frog and Toad.
The big day. Yeah.
Oh.
God damn it.
Well, all of a sudden Sam Hell's like, you know what? I'm gonna go, finish this guy off
Better
and make
go
sure he's
check.
dead.
Finish him.
Yeah, he's gone. There's a lot of red paint on some rocks to signify blood. And a sword is just laying there. And the guy's gun.
Yeah.
So the guy apparently, here's a fun plan. He hobbled off like 30 feet and then pretended to be dead. So Sam Hell comes over and starts kicking the guy in the back and reaches over, and you could noticeably see the actor is breathing up and down. And Sam Hell just walks off.
Yeah.
And then the guy, he pulls a move that you'd all be afraid of. He gently rolls over because he's on top of a rocket launcher and is about to shoot it at Sam Hell.
Who is maybe 5 feet away from him.
But Sam Hell, Han Solo zap blasts him right down, and
Yeah.
and that's it.
He shoots him right in the goddamn face.
Sometimes you don't choose where you shoot.
When
Yeah.
someone threatens you with a rocket launcher
No,
at 5
you-
feet across,
Yeah,
You
you always
go.
shoot him in
you
the
go
face.
right in the face.
Yeah.
Make sure that's stopped.
Or the flace.
Get them anywhere you want.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we hear the pink car just blow up. Well, we hear an explosion, and he runs over. He's like, "Oh my god!" And the pink car is blown up.
Yeah, many pieces.
But there's no
like
body
4
parts.
pieces.
Yeah, there's like 7 people involved, and there's no bodies. There's no one to be seen. But he's assuming they're dead. Like you could see that he's assuming they're dead.
Oh yeah, he's ready to leave.
Yeah,
I'm out of here now. Thank God.
but yeah, you think it would be credits roll.
Yeah.
Sam Hell will return. The Sorrow of Sam Hell. Frogtown 2. No. Well, all of a sudden, guess who's going to show up? Commander Toty.
So
Yeah.
he comes back.
And 2 little Totylings.
Yeah.
I like the treatment of the underlings, though. By Sam Hell, that is.
That's true. Toty, he's about to kill Sam, but no, wait, other way around. Sam wants to kill Toty, but he's out of ammo in the rocket launcher.
Well,
Well,
he
it
just
won't
won't it
fire.
out.
Well, no, it just didn't work. Yeah.
Well, at
Kept pressing the trigger. And
first-
then wasn't Toty going like,
at first the rocket launcher is aimed, and what Sam Hell tells the underlings, he's like, "Everyone get out of the car and run." And the underlings kind of look away, and he's like, "I'm serious," but Toty's staying because Toty thinks he's running too, and so he basically just tells the underlings to run off, and they do. They live. Then Toty's like, "Oh," and then the rocket launcher doesn't fire. Don't worry about it. Sam Hell's gonna take 3 to 4 terrible shots with his pistol, and just shoot the same place 4 times, which is the side of a Jeep.
His grouping is great.
yeah.
Consistency is more important than
He
accuracy.
was aiming for that spot.
Turns out not when you're trying to kill a frog guy.
Like clearly I would have no business and no success in this whatsoever. But again, this guy's supposed to be like ex-military. And he does use weapons and stuff later and earlier. Like what?
Well, maybe he blamed the Jeep for making
That's true.
Captain Toty like such an angry frog, and he was trying to kill the Jeep.
Yeah, but he doesn't like it. And now Toty's like, "Oh, you don't have weapons." And then he just beats the shit out of Sam Hell.
He does beat the shit out of him pretty severely.
So did you guys read the trivia on this scene right here?
No.
No.
It was a real
So
frog.
where they filmed this fight scene where they filmed this fight scene with Captain Toty is the same exact place where they filmed
Kirk.
Captain Kirk fighting
With the Gorn?
Gorn.
I knew
yeah,
I
that's
recognized that
fucking
scene.
Gorn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
If only they were
On the
cheeky
same rock. Yeah, everything.
If only they were cheeky enough to play the soundtrack of the fight.
Back to Cable Guy. It all comes back to Cable.
Ah, it's true. Full circle.
They should have had Rowdy throwing like haymakers and doing like the Kirk fist.
Like
double
fucking
fist.
fake gymnastic rolls across the
Nice.
rock.
This is the fight scene where I mentioned the finger poke to the eyes.
Yeah, the Three Stooges thing.
some kick to the balls action in this fight scene as well.
You would think a frog would actually be fairly resistant to the eye poke because his eyes are
you got
so
to
far
suppress him
apart.
fall.
Yeah.
I wonder how he did that. Now
Yeah.
that I'm thinking about it.
It's like a wet willy, basically. It's a dual wet willy.
Gross.
But they're fighting on a cliff edge. I'm guessing. I can't tell how far the drop is, but
It's far enough.
yeah, they're fighting, and Sam's reaching for the sword.
Well, Toty goes off. Toty's off the cliff and he's hanging and he's trying to pull Sam down.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so Toty's hanging off and he's trying to come back. He's like, "I'm gonna get you." And Sam leans back because he's gonna get dragged down too. He takes that sweet, sweet samurai sword and just chops Toty's hand right off.
Yeah.
The hand that was immediately back in the next scene.
No.
That's true. You can see his body down at the ground. He falls, but the hand's still there.
The hand just landed just right, though.
One would think, one would think when Toty like impacts on the ground, you would probably think Mike would say something.
What would he say?
Well, he ain't getting up from that.
Nice little casual. He's not getting.
And honestly,
He did not.
He ain't getting
No,
up
he
from
didn't.
that. Yeah. Toty's gone. It's the end of the Toty story. So then Sam immediately runs back to the car, like that pink car that exploded. He's trying to figure things out. There's a bit of lace that Spangle was wearing. He's looking forlorn, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Where did she go? And then her and the harem run around from the corner. They're like, oh, well.
Yeah, they were peeing in the bushes.
Yeah.
They had to go.
Well, and Spangler got changed. She's wearing like normal clothes.
Sure.
She's like, you sluts can stay in your fucking harem clothes.
They love the harem clothes.
But I'm putting my pants back on.
Everyone loves the harem clothes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did.
he's like, what's going on? And she's like, well, Commander Toty rolled up, we got scared and we ran off and hid, but the plan worked. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, the plan, the whole plan succeeded.
The plan.
The blessing. But yeah, he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, totally the plan. You saved everyone. We found the women. Now you're going to, fulfill the contract and various other things.
Get your bang on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I don't know about all that. And she's like, well, we'll see. And she, tries to pluck the earring like it's going to shock his junk. And he's like, I've been junk free for this whole time. Junk free off the chain, Spangle. And she's like, then why did you even come back? He's like, well, Then, at some point in time, he gives his necklace to Centinella. What the hell? After this huge backstory, this is my daughter's. This is the one keepsake I have. Like, you gave me half a hand job in the desert one night. There you go.
She was the only one that let him see her boobies.
That's true, yeah.
She had to give her something special.
Mm-hmm. Someone had to have the balls to do that.
Well, it was Sam Hell and the necklace of his daughter. Romantic.
I want you to have this.
Every kiss begins with K.
Yeah.
So yeah, with this,
I tried to give you a different necklace earlier. It didn't work. So
with this, there's a bit of a tussle between Spangle and Hell. There's this kind of Indiana Jones Temple of Doom ending. It's a tussle fight, but then ends up into a kiss. She's like, okay, everything's going to go to plan. They drive off, and like the plan is, she's like, I think with all the things you've done, we're going to get back to base. We're going to talk to MedTech. They're going to be like, great. And I think I could get us a few weeks leave off. And he's like, that's great. And she's like, after, we fulfill basically the contract. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she opens the back of the truck and they show the harem, implying that he's got to impregnate all these women.
Hey, man.
And then
work's got to be done, you know?
Yeah. Well, the final word is a soldier's work is never done.
Yeah.
He's got to go back and he's got to impregnate these women. But afterwards, him and Spangle could probably get a couple weeks off.
Yeah. She'll get sloppy 6.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a love story that is as old as time.
Yeah.
Before we give you our final reviews on Hell Comes to Frogtown, as always, is there a movie you would like us to review? Is there a movie you've heard of? Is there just something we are not seeing that we need to be made aware of in the film industry? Reach out to us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com, or you could go directly to our webpage, rabbittroopsucks.com. You can find some merch there. There's some links. There's some stuff about us. There's the most recent episodes that could stream. But as always, you could stream this anywhere podcasts could be streamed. This includes just picking up your iPhone and going to that podcast app, or going to iTunes, or going to the many, many things that stream all of these things, including Amazon, Audible, and various other places. But yes, we're also on social media, Instagram, Facebook. But Hell Comes to Frogtown, Roddy Piper. I miss Roddy Piper. I think Roddy Piper is such a fun actor. Who wants to start this one off? Hell Comes to Frogtown.
I'll start it off because I'm really going to just be really brief with it. This was a fun flick. I liked watching it with you guys. I think everybody's going to have fun watching this with friends and loved ones. Just gather around the TV and put it on. You'll have an hour and a half of a nice, fun little romp. Nothing to be taken serious. I just think Roddy Piper makes fun little movies like this. It's vibrant, outlandish. Great makeup on the toes. I don't know. I have little notes at the end of what I wanted to touch on. It's not much, but just having fun with this movie.
The Toad makeup effects cost $12,000.
Yeah,
they got their money with Marabella or Annabella. What was her name?
Arabella.
Oh, okay. I think that was the best costume of them all. Roddy Piper as an actor. I can't say that.
They were all sweet.
I can't say that Roddy Piper is the greatest actor. I mean, come on, guys. Yeah. But he's a fun actor. He has fun with it. Fun. That's the word I'll use for this movie.
What do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, so like this is not a good movie by any stretch at all. And it does seem like it's going to be an uncomfortable theme, but it's really not throughout the movie. I think this would have been a way better experience for me had I watched it with you guys tonight, rather than sit at home in Missouri and watch it by myself.
I mean,
but
you would have seen Collin was dressed as Leroy. You would have seen that.
No, I mean, I think it would have been a lot funner movie for me to be there with you. I can't say I hate this movie because it's just hilarious throughout, like things that take place and like the whole premise of it. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed some of like the Easter eggs with like the Star Trek stuff. I think Roddy Piper does some. I think he could be a decent actor if somebody worked with him, because he makes some pretty incredible like crazy faces, and he does some of those in They Live too, which I think was filmed around the same time as this movie. I enjoyed it, and it's not, like I said, it's a terrible movie, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Did this movie come first, or They Live?
I don't know, man, because both on IMDb it says both of these were made in 1988.
Oh wow, 88 was his year. Trying to think of what he was doing in 88 wrestling wise. I think he left WWF and just went full time into acting. He did wrestle afterwards again, but he obviously had acting under his experience. So he went back into it.
He has a plethora of things under his like name on IMDb. So he's been in a lot of things. But if you're gonna watch one, like I want to seek out and watch a Roddy Piper film, just go with They Live.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Collin, this is your first time around with this movie. What's your view of Hell Comes to Frogtown?
I kind of agree with Jeremy. Like, everything about this movie is so bad that there is no reason to like it. But by the time it's done, you're like, all right, that was pretty fun. Like, a ton of the dialogue is either like explaining what happened between the current scene and the previous scene that they just didn't show for whatever reason. It's probably about half the dialogue, and the other half is like the stupid quips that like after a while should just be grinding because they don't add any value to the script at all. But like the costumes are great. Like the things that they do are so like quirky and fun that it at the end it's just fun. The whole premise doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense, and yeah, it's just pretty fun.
Like this movie is like, hey, me and my bros want to drink some beers and fucking make some dong jokes. Like, this is your movie. Yeah. This is your fucking movie right here.
Like, there's a whole genre of just like, let's get some scantily clad women and have a little bit of fun, and this fits right in there.
I think this is better quality and writing than those. At least they have some kind of angle where they're going.
Well, at least when they get to Frogtown.
With Frogtown, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, before then, it's just, let's see how many tits we can get in this movie. And this movie only
just one pair.
Yeah, not
one
enough,
pair.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm fucking kind of disappointed in that.
But then again, if they ran in too many, I don't know, it would have been a totally different movie. Would have been just a tits movie.
We could have had that frog lady's tits. That would have been fine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. for the art.
Like she has three boobs, like the gal in Total Recall.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel this movie has two halves, and the first half is kind of weird, but it sets up the backdrop. That's going to be the uncomfortable kind of weirdo half. But again, when you get to Frogtown, I feel this whole movie is a total blast. It's like, hey, there's Looney Tunes. He's like my father. Maybe. There's other things happening. Kind of. I'm going to sneak in, but I'm going to fall off a rafter. Like, who knows what's going on in this movie? Bull's got a chainsaw to a codpiece. Up is down, down is up. I love it. Yeah, at the end of the day, I just feel this is a super fun film. I could totally see where Jeremy's coming from. It's more fun to probably watch with a group of people. Roddy Piper, definitely, you want like his ultimate film. It's going to be They Live, same year. We definitely have to do this for this podcast at some point in time. But I would totally recommend this film if you like kind of schlocky sci-fi good times. And if you know Roddy Piper at all, then you're going to like him. You're going to like this film. He definitely has a fun, I don't know, set of dialogue, and I don't know. Yeah, as Jeremy noted, just like a lot of crazy faces. I'm just thinking of scenes. I'm like, he's just fun to watch. He's a fun hero to root for.
He's very expressive in the face.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, he is.
Mike, what's your deal?
Yeah, I agree with all of you guys. I mean, if you've never seen this before, the first 15 to 20 minutes are kind of like, this is kind of awkward. If you've seen it before, the first 20 minutes I think are kind of fun because you know what's about to happen. But yeah, Paul's right. When they get to Frogtown, there's like no holds barred. I don't know if puppetry is the right word, but like all of the frogs' facial expressions are phenomenal. The guy who did all the makeup, his name is Steve Wang, and I don't know why that's funny for me, but it is.
Because there's a lot of fucking Wang jokes.
I mean, it's a Wang centric movie. Like he did a great job. Yeah, this movie's bananas. Roddy Piper's fun. Everyone just kind of looked like they were enjoying themselves. Fucking Rory Calhoun is in this movie. I've seen this movie multiple times. I'd gladly watch it again. It's super fun. It's not as good. I mean, it's not a John Carpenter movie like They Live is, but it's still fun.
Would any of you watch the sequels? Would you watch both of them? Noting Roddy Piper's not there.
I'd watch them.
Yeah, it has to be.
I would watch them if I was with you guys.
I'd
Like,
watch
I don't
them with
think I'll
you.
seek them out like by myself and like sit down and watch them.
We'd have to have enough booze for that.
Yeah,
Is there enough booze for that?
there is.
That's
probably-
probably enough, yeah.
Probably watch one, not like it, and choose not to watch the other. But if
Yeah.
I liked one,
Yeah, that'd
then
be-
I would go
Based
down
on,
that path.
based on the premise I read for each, I could see us watching the next one, but probably not the third one.
Yeah.
I think the second one is Lou Ferrigno.
But there we
Really?
go.
Oh wow.
I didn't know they brought Lou into it.
We got a whole bottle of what is it, like Senorita Doris or whatever the
Oh
fuck,
yeah, you still got like
whatever that
Mama-
margarita makes.
That changes name every week.
Mama Death,
Gloria, oh Gloria,
Mama Gloria's death.
Yeah, that crazy Estefan was it?
that's pure kerosene.
Yeah,
It might kerosene is one of the ingredients.
yeah, probably.
That'll get us through.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah.
coming at you next week, I cannot explain how excited Mike is for this movie.
Yeah.
And he is overflowing with just
With big gothy wieners.
with big gothy wieners.
Ooh, lad.
We're going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of The Crow, 1994. And the kind of ad I have going for why this could fit our bill is it overlooked? That's kind of what I would kind of posit. That for some, not many in this room, but this movie's 30 years old, and there have been many, many iterations beyond just the original graphic novel. There's been a TV show. There's been multiple movies, like a handful of movies throughout the years. There's been, I think, a video game, and all of them have failed every which way.
Yeah, I think maybe overlooked isn't because they keep making this movie.
Well, no,
overlooked
well,
might be the wrong
no,
term.
I'm just saying-
maybe phenomenally shitty is
Well,
the.
I'm just saying the original movie would have been overlooked. Like people maybe have been
I don't think they keep remaking overlooked movies. There's a new one coming out right now.
Well, I'm saying because so many have come out that it is overlooked by others. That you saw like the one with Edward Furlong, or you're gonna see the new one that's coming out that people have already like highlighted that looks awful based on the previews, which it does absolutely with Bill Skarsgård. But yeah, I don't know how many people would have seen that. Like, much like Ninja Turtles, we're highlighting like people are like, I know that franchise. Have you seen the 1990 Ninja Turtles? People are like, no. Like I'm aware of it, but no.
I guess that's fair.
And that's what we could say about the 94 Crow. Like you may be aware of this franchise, but like have you seen the actual 1994 movie? But I just think, a notable movie enough. This ties to Rust, this movie that, just got settled with like tragic deaths and people being shot on sets. So all of this is very relevant to today and like films going through. But yes, Mike is gushing. For The
Is
Crow.
Rust actually going to come out?
I believe so.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know if it's coming out, but like the verdict, like
No, but like, are they going to release the movie?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know how to feel about it if they did. It's kind of like a whole thing.
They shouldn't have released The Crow. That's my stance.
I think you're just saying that on film quality and not what they had.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, fair.
When you watch it, let's see if it holds up. And it's.
I'm
it's
excited to
as
see
bad as it is.
if I hate this movie as much as I
There
remember
you
hating
go.
this
Do
movie.
you, do you think, as Collin was noting before, Mike's going to think it can't rain all the time?
It just can't. One day that sun's gonna come out for you, Mike.
If anything, I'm gonna make a little mental wager that Mike will at least like Ernie Hudson's character in it.
Well, I mean, who doesn't like Ernie
There we
Hudson?
go, Ernie Hudson. So
Let me pose this to you, Mike. Do you think that the new remake of The Crow would be better if Bill Skarsgård had played The Crow, but just did his Pennywise character, like he's just Pennywise in The Crow?
Honestly, probably. Yeah.
There you go.
crow it. There's a shirt in the making. Mashups you can't believe coming up at you next. And after The Crow, we're approaching our 100th episode. So thank you so much for listening. As always, just thanks for hanging in there, Denver and beyond. So Rabbit Troop sucks.
Rabbit Troop sucks.
Shut
Shut
your
your hole!